Court, as the SG is, in fact, the Solicitor General is mentioning that the Sikhs for Justice, the Khalistani group, gave a call against the Prime Minister. So they've named the Sikhs for Justice group in the Supreme Court on record, and they've referred to this as an act of terror. They're referring to the security breach as an act of international terror. Huge news break coming in right now, so that perhaps gives us details of how the centre is viewing what's happened. This isn't a party and how they're viewing it, but actually the government and from which angle they're investigating this case and how serious really this kind of a security lapse is. There have been a lot of people who've come out and said that, you know, this was a minor lapse. There was no threat to the Prime Minister's life. Here's the government going on record in the Supreme Court to state that there was clearly a threat to the Prime Minister's life, saying that this security breach was an act of international terrorism. Anisha Mathur is joining us with more details on this. Anisha, big news break that's coming in right now from the Supreme Court. Give us details of really what the Solicitor General is saying.
Well, the Solicitor General, Akshata, has made some very, very explosive comments before the Supreme Court. The hearing is currently ongoing before the Chief Justice's bench. And I'm just going to read out the main points. What the Solicitor General has said is that there was a call just days before the Prime Minister's visit by a banned organization called Sikhs for Justice, which had called for action against the Prime Minister of India. And this could potentially have been an incident of international terrorism. Remember, he hasn't said that it is actually terrorism. He has said that this is something that needs to be investigated, because this is a factor that there was a video that was put out on social media by an organization that is considered a terrorist threat by the Indian government. Secondly, he has said that there were serious lapses by the Punjab police, that the district I apologize, the DGP in charge, who is supposed to have cleared the road, did not do so. The DGP had given a green light for the convoy to move, and the police personnel who were actually on the road, who were responsible for ensuring that the road was cleared, were having tea with the protesters and had not in fact warned the convoy that there was such a blockade on the road. These are two very, very important points that the Solicitor General has raised before the Chief Justice's bench. Thirdly, he has also said that there is a serious objection to the fact that the Home Secretary of Punjab is part of the committee that was set up by the state, because according to the Solicitor General, since the entire decision making and the monitoring of the route is something that the Home Secretary would also have been a part of, then the Home Secretary of Punjab is potentially also a subject of the investigation. So these are the three main points that have been raised. The hearing is still going on. We'll keep you updated.
Right, Anisha, thank you for those details. Very important points that Anisha was getting us also about the hearing in the Supreme Court, about how there were clear lapses and the allegation that, you know, some of the police officials who were there did alert the convoy. They were busy sipping tea on the side. Nalini Sharma is also with us with more details on that. Nalini, the government has gone on record in the Supreme Court to mention that this is an act of international terror, referring to the angle of the Sikhs for Justice putting out a video soon after this incident, hailing what happened.
Absolutely right, Akshata. In fact, the Solicitor General, who for the first time has aired his views before the Supreme Court on this entire issue that has been making headlines for the past 2-3 days, said that it is possible that this was an act of cross-border terrorism.
Apologies, we've lost the connection with Nalini. We'll reconnect with her in just a bit for those live updates. Nalini, go ahead.
Yes, Akshata, if you can hear me now, I was saying that this is the first time we heard from the Solicitor General on this entire issue that's been making headlines for the past 2-3 days. And he said that it is possibly an act of cross-border terrorism, because what happened with the Prime Minister in Punjab was the rarest of the rare incident. And the Solicitor General went on to say that it has the capacity to embarrass us within the international community. That is essentially why the Solicitor General, as well as the petitioners, have asked the Supreme Court to take a note of this issue. The Solicitor General has said that a message should go out from the highest court of the country that acts like this will not be tolerated in India. And along with that, even the petitioners are asking for a probe to be conducted in the matter, headed by a retired judge of the Supreme Court or a High Court. So these are some very important observations coming in. We've still not heard anything from the bench. No observations so far from the CJI or the other judges sitting on the bench on exactly what they think about this entire issue. They're patiently hearing the arguments that are being made by the petitioners as well as the Solicitor General. And probably towards the end of the hearing, we'll probably find out what the Supreme Court's thinking about it and as to whether or not these requests to send out a strong message to the country and the international community is something that the Supreme Court is going to do.
Okay, to also update our viewers on what all is happening right now in the Supreme Court, the Solicitor General is arguing that the inquiry at this point into this case must be investigated by the central government. It cannot be done by a state inquiry committee, and this is big. He's saying that the Home Secretary of Punjab could potentially also be under the scanner for this massive lapse in the Prime Minister's security. So that's why the Solicitor General is saying that there is an absolute need right now for an NIA officer to also be present. In turn, you've got a representative of the Punjab government also there who's saying that a committee was created on the same day as the incident, not after the petition was filed in the Supreme Court. This is a very serious issue. The Advocate General of Punjab is also defending the government, saying all steps have been taken, that, they've set up a committee also that's headed by a retired judge, and FIR has also been filed. So the Punjab government is defending themselves in court, saying that, we've taken a number of steps. We've ensured that action is taken in this regard, that there is a fair investigation that will be conducted as well. But at this point, Nalini, it's very clear that the government is saying, the centre is saying that this is a matter that cannot be looked into by the state because of the fact that some of your top officials, like the Home Secretary, are also under the scanner.
Well, yes, Akshita, essentially what's happened is that because of such strong statements that are being made by the government as well as the petitioners before the Supreme Court, the Punjab government's gone a little bit of defensive, and what they're saying is that they had taken immediate actions within a few hours of this incident happening, and they'd ensured that there was no security risk to the PM. But at the same time, the Solicitor General has highlighted very vociferously on exactly the kind of message that they sent across and how much there was a threat to the PM's life so close to the border. That is essentially why he's alleged that this could also be a plot of cross-border terrorism. So some very serious allegations and arguments that have been made from the government side. Like I said earlier, we've still not heard what the Supreme Court had to say in this matter, but clearly they thought that it was important enough to be heard at the time when only COVID matters are being heard within a short window of just 1 day. Yesterday when this matter was mentioned and today it was listed before the CJI bench, so there can be no doubt about the fact that we will expect some orders from the Supreme Court on this entire issue today. As to whether or not there will be orders that can be implemented, or there will orders be only to send a message out, not only to the country but also to the international community, is something that we'll have to wait and watch out for.
Absolutely. So this hearing as we speak is still underway. Some of the big takeaways really from the hearing so far is, number one, the government going on record to state that this is an act of international terrorism and is referring to a video that was put out by Khalistani group Sikhs for Justice on the security lapse issue. The second is that the centre has said very clearly that this is an issue that cannot be investigated by the state because of the fact that they believe some of the top officials like the Home Secretary of Punjab are also under the scanner, which is why they're saying that the central government, with the presence of an NIA officer, must look into what happened. There are also questions being asked in the Supreme Court on whether the Punjab government has done enough since the incident itself, to which the Punjab government has replied. And that's another big takeaway. The Punjab government is completely defending itself there in the top court, saying very clearly, we've taken the necessary action. We've formed an inquiry. A committee is has been set up to look into this. An FIR has been registered. So the Punjab government continues to maintain that we are doing all that needs to be done in this particular case. The central government at this point is saying that an NIA officer must be involved in the investigation as well. Nalini, it looks like when the Supreme Court's observations come in, it could perhaps also give us details about how this inquiry will go forward, because in the last 2 days, we've seen many committees being formed, probe panels being formed, both at the state level and at the central level.
Well, absolutely. And both the petitioners as well as Tushar Mehta have said that if an inquiry is being conducted, then it is important and pertinent that the NIA play a significant part in it, because it is only the NIA that will actually be able to get to the depth and the bottom of this entire issue and find out exactly how this was allowed to take place in the very first place. Another thing that's coming across is that there are a lot of allegations that have been made against the Punjab police about how they played a role in leaking out the information about the PM's convoy to the protesters. So only through an NIA inquiry will they be able to get to the bottom of as to whether or not a role was played by the authorities within the state government to create an atmosphere where a security breach regarding the PM could have taken place. So it is for these reasons that both the petitioners as well as the government are asking the Supreme Court to ensure that one, an inquiry is conducted in this matter, and two, that when an inquiry is conducted, an NIA plays a significant part in it so that they can really get to the bottom of this. Because in case their apprehensions are true, and this is in fact a plot of cross-border terrorism, then the NIA is the correct agency that will actually be able to get to the root of the matter and find out exactly what happened and who was at the helm of perpetrating the security breach regarding the Prime Minister.
Nalini, was there any statement by the Punjab government representative when the centre mentioned that this was an act of international terror? Because as far as the Punjab government, Chief Minister Channi has gone on record here on India Today to say that there has been no threat to the Prime Minister's life, that the fact that his convoy was blocked for 20 minutes, that, he was stuck on a flyover, that wasn't any sort of threat to the Prime Minister's life. So when this comment was made by the centre on record to state this is an act of international terror, was there any response or rebuttal from the Punjab representative?
Well, actually, what we have right now is the Advocate General of Punjab, who is appearing before the Supreme Court. And essentially, till now, he was trying to give some details as to the steps that were taken by the Punjab government immediately after this entire incident has happened to ensure that there, in fact, was no threat to the Prime Minister's life. So you're right to point out that what the Punjab AG is saying before the Supreme Court is on similar lines to what the Punjab CM, Mr. Channi, had spoken to India Today in the exclusive interview that he'd given us yesterday, that there was in fact no threat to the PM's life because immediate steps had been taken by the Punjab government to ensure that the matter was looked into. And along with that, what we have right now are the first observations that are also coming in from the bench, Akshita. The Chief Justice of India has made some pertinent observations regarding this. He said whether there is a committee that is going to be considered to look into this matter, it will have to be done by the Supreme Court. So some very serious observations coming in. We'll get you an update in that in just a bit.
Okay, I'm going to give you a few minutes there, Nalini, to also gather those updates for us on exactly what's happening in the Supreme Court and what the CGI is saying. But what's very clear right now is that it looks like this could head in the way of the Supreme Court actually going ahead and setting up an investigation committee, of setting up an inquiry panel to look into exactly what this happened. And this perhaps sums up for you how serious this issue is. This security breach is a matter that the Supreme Court is currently hearing. The Solicitor General has made some very, very strong comments saying that at this point that, this is an act of international terrorism, and also maintaining that, the Sikhs for Justice group, which is a Khalistani group, has also put out a video on this. Now, at this point, the Punjab AG has said that the Central Committee is not an innocuous committee. It will hold something against my officers. So that's another big news break coming in with the Punjab AG there, the Attorney General, trying to state that this is a conspiracy by the centre, that if they probe it, it's going to be a biased investigation, which is why they're saying that we cannot be thrown under the carpet. If a committee has to be formed, let it be an independent committee. So the Punjab government is also saying that this can't be a central government probe. There must be an independent committee set up because they believe that the centre is going after them and they are being thrown under the carpet. So that's another big takeaway from this hearing right now, with the Punjab Attorney General going on record to state that the centre will hold something against officers of the Punjab government and they will be thrown under the carpet, which is why they need an independent committee to look into this. I want to take this across to Shiv Arur. He's joining us on this broadcast. We also have Kamaljeet Sandhu getting us the latest updates from Chandigarh. Shiv, the biggest takeaway so far from the hearing that's underway in the Supreme Court is the mention by SG, by the Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, on record that this is an act of international terrorism.
You know, the very fact that they've mentioned international terrorism in the country's top court is something that simply cannot be ignored. It takes this entire affair completely to the next level. In fact, Kamaljeet has been talking about this for the last 2 days since this entire issue broke, because the intelligence agencies and the investigating agencies would be looking very closely at this. So I'm actually not surprised that the Solicitor General has mentioned this in the court, because the many noises that have been made since this entire incident happened, Akshita, including by Gurpatwant Singh Pannu of the Sikhs for Justice, declaring that this whole incident is the beginning of some kind of Khalistan referendum. Of course, these are fringe elements. Nobody believes that the Khalistan movement is going to gain any traction. But the very fact that some of these people who've been putting out videos since last year very unequivocally calling for the killing of and the assassination of Prime Minister Modi is something that simply cannot be ignored. And the very fact that on the ground this became a nightmarish situation as far as the Special Protection Group and the close security of the Prime Minister himself is concerned in Punjab, is clearly all elements that make this far more sinister than it probably is. A lot of politics has already been played over the level of threat that has been perceived to have been existing on that flyover. But if you put all of these other things together with dangerous calls for assassination and chest thumping that's happening by some of the fringe groups in Punjab, as well as terrorist organizations like Sikhs for Justice, then you have a situation where international terrorism isn't such a far cry at all.
This has happened, and Kamaljeet, you can give us more perspective on this. This incident, which happened 2 days ago on that flyover, is just about 10 kilometers away from the Pakistan border.